Is Couples Retreat 2025.
Like a dream come true.
The Couples Retreat train is heading to the beautiful city of Takoradi this year. Prepare for a refreshing and unforgettable weekend getaway at the Western Serene Atlantic Hotel, crowned with a special vacation at the Groove, a Sipon Beach Resort. Date 29th to the 31st of August 2025. Lock down the date and get ready to experience a weekend filled with warm fellowship, interactive and impactful retreat sessions, and intentional couple bonding activities that will leave lasting memories. Our time at the Groove, a Sipon Beach Resort, promises pure delight, horse riding, kayaking on calm waters, to relaxing couple walks, couple games, and beautiful moments under the sunset. It's a perfect setting to unwind and reconnect in the most memorable way. The weekend will cost 7,888 Ghana cedis per couple, inclusive of transportation. Registration deadline is the 25th of August 2025. To register, call or WhatsApp 0545 223324 0545 223324. Don't miss this special opportunity to refresh your love, strengthen your bond in a faith-filled and uplifting atmosphere. Let's make this a weekend to remember together.
Trying to see the only. Oh, key steps 1, 2, 3. Make you fall in love with me.
Sunny FM is excited to announce its Couples Retreat 2025.
Like a dream come true.
The Couples Retreat train is heading to the beautiful city of Takoradi this year. Prepare for a refreshing and unforgettable weekend getaway at the Western Serene Atlantic Hotel, crowned with a special vacation at the Groove, a Sipon Beach Resort. Date 29th to the 31st of August 2025. Lock down the date and get ready to experience a weekend filled with warm fellowship, interactive and impactful retreat sessions, and intentional couple bonding activities that will leave lasting memories. Our time at the Groove, a Sipon Beach Resort, promises pure delight, horse riding, kayaking on calm waters, to relaxing couple walks, couple games, and beautiful moments under the sunset. It's a perfect setting to unwind and reconnect in the most memorable way. The weekend will cost 7,888 Ghana cedis per couple, inclusive of transportation. Registration deadline is the 25th of August 2025. To register, call or WhatsApp 0545 223324 0545 223324. Don't miss this special opportunity to refresh your love, strengthen your bond in a faith-filled and uplifting atmosphere. Let's make this a weekend to remember together.
Trying to see the only. Oh, key steps 1, 2, 3. Make you fall in love with me.
Sunny FM is excited to announce its Couples Retreat 2025.
Like a dream.
Right here, I Am Drive Sunny 88.7, 20 minutes more to 9. We're back on our Marriage Unscripted series for this month of August. This is going to be our third edition for today. Today, our guest is Kobina Jackson. I mean, we spoke to him over a week or something back. He's the founder of Doubles Marriage Ministry. And today we're talking about building trust in marriage. Big area, huge area of discussion when it comes to marriage, when it comes to relationships. Well, you're going to join us today. We're live on Sunny TV right now, so you can catch us on Sunny TV right now. Or better still, we're live on the radio or on our socials, Sunny 88.7 on Facebook and on YouTube right now as we talk. So, I mean, keep your questions there. Yesterday, when we were talking, we had tons of people joining us. I know trust, dear. It's going to be another matter, you know. Kobina, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning and welcome again.
Yes, sir.
I mean,
Yes.
It's good to meet you. There's a friend of mine I was talking to on this subject, and he's like, "Ajibami dear, yachimi sa." So say cry dear. Even if I'm going for a work retreat, cry. They don't trust me to go. and I'm like, but how can you be going through a cycle of, doing these things so for him it's a cycle. I mean, trust is a huge issue. How important is it? I mean, this is your line of work in the people you meet and you talk to. How does trust play in whether the marriage is going well or not?
Trust is one of the foundational pillars in a marriage. I mean, if a marriage lacks trust, then really, I dare say that there's no real foundation for that marriage. It's an interesting thing. Trust is always an interesting conversation to have. You're considering whether the person can be reliable, whether the person is honest, whether the person is emotionally committed to you, and those parameters are evaluated on a daily basis. So it's not something that you do once and you think that I've achieved and then, that's it. So those dynamics are key for the relationship. A lot of times what people lose sight of is the fact that trust is what I say this, trust is what trust does. So your behaviors, your actions, the way you conduct yourself, you're either building trust or you are taking trust away from you. So viewed like a bank account, you're either debiting or you're crediting. Yeah, crediting. And it gets to a point where you're so much the debits that the foundations of the relationship no longer there. The bank will write to you and say,
are you okay? That's where you get messages,
we need to close the account. We need to close the account. So it's very important. Yes.
I wish if we can hone in on some of the real life trust issues couples deal with, and I'm hoping we can be as practical as possible, especially in your line of work.
Okay, yes. So let me go back a bit, and then before we start even looking at the obvious trust issues, it's important for us to understand that trust in a relationship, what I need to do to make sure my partner trusts me, is dependent on the actions that my partner deems as trust. So I don't wake up just thinking that, of course, there are the moral issues. So we'll deal with the moral issues. But for me to grow trust and build trust in my relationship, what are the actions that when I partake in or involve myself in, my partner will deem as building trust? And for every couple, it may be different. I want us to get that foundation right. For some couples, having a password on your phone does not mean anything. Another couple, it is a key thing. You can't have a password on your phone. For some people, being signatories to their bank account is a trust
big
issue.
one.
It's a
big
trust
one.
issue. Others, it's not a big deal for them. I'm disclosing your salary to your partner may be a trust issue for one couple. For another couple, it may not be. So it's not a one size fit all. It's important that the couple themselves identify what set of activities or actions do I embark on that will build trust with each other, moving beyond just the foundational issues of the moral trust issues. But to answer your question, the obvious one, infidelity. That's the basic.
That's
everybody
king.
Usually when people start, there are different aspects of trust, but let's start from the very common one, which is infidelity. And it could be either emotional infidelity or the physical infidelity. I dare say that in these days, emotional infidelity is actually a lot more prevalent than physical infidelity. In this era of us having devices and gadgets, we actually have quote unquote sex on the phone before we actually meet physically. By the time we are meeting, we've done everything and said everything on the phone.
You're right.
But we wake up in the morning and I'm thinking of somebody else. I'm looking forward to sending message to somebody else to find out how are you doing? Did you sleep well? Meanwhile, your spouse is right by you and you haven't tend to say good morning. No, these issues. So when your spouse realizes that the first thing you do is that you're picking up your phone to send somebody a message, you're spending time, you're hiding to be sending messages, and you look at the facial expressions, you look at somebody on the face, the person
is just happy.
Is happy and in deep thought and enjoying him or herself on the phone, and that can lead to emotional infidelity, and I have quite a number of people coming in with those kind of issues. If that is not dealt with appropriately, and sometimes it starts off as innocent conversations, and then it ends up with regular deep conversations with these people. It could be even your colleagues in the office. It could be your pastor. It could be, all the different classes of people in your life could end up helping you to achieve this emotional infidelity, even though it may not be your intent.
Take a listen to this. Mr. Paul Mante was here on Monday, and he said something you're talking about. I just want our listeners, those who probably couldn't listen, to take a listen.
Yes.
If you are not deliberate to build that friendship and the spark in the marriage, there is a subject matter that is not being discussed: the issue of emotional infidelity. So people are still married, they still go to church, but emotionally they are connected
there
to someone else. Emotionally they are connected to a work colleague. Emotionally they are connected to an old schoolmate. So they are chatting with this person all day.
And that's enough for them.
And that's enough for them. So emotionally they are connected to someone else. We may take it for granted, but it's a dangerous thing in any marriage where there is emotional infidelity, where you are connected to someone else. You wake up in the morning looking forward to a message to someone else other than your spouse. You are enjoying the company of someone else other than your spouse. There is a problem in the office. You are speaking to somebody of the opposite sex before you speak to your spouse about it, or you don't speak to your spouse about it at all. There is good news, and the information goes to somebody of the opposite sex. It may be a former boyfriend, a former girlfriend, it may be an old schoolmate, it may be a work colleague, majority of the time, infidelity will start with emotional infidelity.
Yeah.
So emotionally, you are connected to someone else and you are enjoying their company, and little by little, and before you realize, you are becoming physical, and the unfortunate happens. So the issue of emotional infidelity, the way to deal with it is the spark must be alive in your own marriage. Your husband must be your best friend. Your wife must be your...
So, this was Paul Mante right here. It's like you guys had the same reference, the same notes. Whether I don't know whether you shared notes,
I never met him.
But
he's spot on. He's spot on. It's a major issue. It is. That is what is happening. What is happening these days? That people are in the same bed. They are physically present but emotionally absent. So you even have spouses that spend a lot of time together. Sometimes they even work in the same, they drive together to work. They are in the same spaces for quite a lot of time, but they are emotionally absent. They are looking forward to, and that's why you get somebody run to the bathroom to go and make some phone call. You get somebody to take a walk. I'm taking a walk. I'm going outside to go and sit outside and just chatting on the phone. And people are fighting for me time. Because they want to spend their time with other people rather than the spouses they have married.
I've seen a message from one of our listeners saying trust is a product of truth. When you're truthful about your dealings, trust comes naturally.
Yes and no. You see,
Is
the issue is that to a large extent, that listener is right. But I'll tell you what, the psychologists actually tell us that from the ages of 0 to 18 is when a person really starts learning how to trust. So, and that's why it's important that you take your time to understand your partner, and it's not you just going about with a set of rules and because the caregivers at that time can actually determine whether the child starts trusting or starts feeling that this is a safe world, or I need to be careful because their basic needs are being met. If their basic needs of comfort, food, all of that is being met as a child, they think, okay, well, this is a safe world for me to be in, and they start learning. If not, they start saying, I need to be careful. And we will be amazed how that foundational thinking at that time can affect us as we go along. So beyond that childhood, our upbringing, if you grow up in a family where they keep to their word, they are there for you, they are reliable, they're dependent, they are generally honest, then you grow up thinking that most people are like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so then it's it. Then the third aspect is your general life experiences. I tell people that if you live in a slum area, your senses are or antennas are always up because you are afraid that the person next to you is going to try and swindle you or try and do something. So you don't trust as much as you would trust if you grew up in a well-developed area, for example. So all of these things influences a person's ability to trust or not, and even goes into the definition of what somebody defines as trust.
A few messages coming in is bringing my next question. Before we get into anything, I think it's something we have to deal with when the trust is broken, especially through betrayal and infidelity. These two things.
Yes,
I'm wondering, what are some of the practical ways couples can, begin to rebuild? I have a message here from a listener who is saying, I have stopped talking about some things because anytime I tell my secret, it goes to my mother-in-law. So me, I've stopped talking. Came through right now.
That's a common challenge. That is a common statement I hear, and it's interesting how sometimes we do not. The spouse's intent may not to be breaching trust, but so sometimes our intent and the impact on of our actions,
and so sometimes disappointment comes in. I didn't mean that.
Expectations have not been met, but that's also because a key part of trust is empathy. That you have to be able to feel what the other party feels. You have to be able to understand the motivations of the other party so that you know what to do. Because for some person, talking to your mother-in-law, their mother is not a problem. For another family, it is a big issue. So having an understanding what matters to your spouse, it's actually very important in building trust. To go back to your question, I think that the first thing that anybody should do is, if there's a breach, acknowledge that breach. See, that thing where we want to defend, I call it DDD, deny till death. That doesn't work in resolving any issue. If there's been a true breach, let's acknowledge that I've done this, I didn't do it well. Let's look at the building going forward and what we can do. Apologize. Forgiveness may not come easily, but one of the things, maybe if I have time, we'll talk a little about forgiveness. But first thing, acknowledge. Number two is that we need to do a proper root cause analysis of what caused that problem. You see, and many a time we assume that, men like to cheat, women cheat or this. There's always some generic definition of, instead of taking our time to go, why did he decide? There are some people that are, for lack of a better expression, I'll say they're serial womanizers or serial cheats, both male and female. So they're serial cheats. So those ones, they may need therapy. But there are a lot of people, their actions and inactions that cause them to emotionally drift from the relationship. So let's do a root cause analysis. Let's find out, why did we get to this point? You see, and once you can address that, then both of you can decide on changes. Be open to changes that you can do. So sometimes it's just as a matter of one person being lonely and did not know how to handle that loneliness. It's just an issue of one person, maybe there be some behaviors that the other party cannot tolerate. So in wanting to be distracted by those things, they spend their time outside the home. And then it leads to other things that they may not have intended for at the time they started off. You see, so let's do, a root cause analysis. Another thing I recommend is that be self-aware. So you're not only spouse aware.
But be self-aware.
Be self-aware. Know yourself. Know your triggers. Know, know what are the things that drives you. There was a couple that I spoke to, came for counseling, and the wife was a bit upset that every time she tries to bring some domestic help into the home, the husband resists the domestic help. And the husband says that I'm not resisting a domestic help. I'm just resisting female domestic help. Not because I can't trust myself, but anyone that supports me in a certain way, I have some kind of affinity towards that person. If I show that affinity towards a female, you will be uncomfortable. So let's have a male, domestic support. That one, you know that I'm not gay, so it's not a problem.
Is this being honest, or this is,
for me, I'll say this person knows himself and wants to be cautious, does not want a situation where you would create any form of doubt or any form of trust issues in the home. So when you identify your triggers, you know that being in a certain situation, some people, it's just a little bit of alcohol and they can't control themselves.
Yeah.
So just one glass or a sip, and then the opposite sex is around, and it's a completely different matter. And then at the end of the day, they regret, but they find themselves in that cycle where they keep going back and doing the same thing. So know yourself and ensure that you avoid those triggers. That be self-aware.
I'm trying as much as possible. So as we go, we deal with some of the issues you're bringing, as we go. This one says, I'm a pastor. I'm watching from Bawi, and I'm learning from this show. God bless you. But then there's a message from a lady that says, and it's in support of what you're saying. Says, I'd like to ask how I can help my husband rebuild trust. Even though he doesn't accept that he has trust issues brought forward from a previous relationship, it's like the other lady cheated, so I will cheat too. He went to the extent of bagging my phone to check if I'm seeing someone and so on. It's been 9 years, and it's creating problems. Still, I think it's connected to what you were just
it is. One of the things that I say is that don't carry the sins of your previous relationship into the new. But some people are actually unaware that that's what they're doing.
Exactly. So
I recommend therapy. Try and get the person, because sometimes speaking to the trained psychologist or therapist, they would use tools to help the person do away with some of these character traits. That is important, rather than just try and just speak to the person. And again, the challenge in our system is that because we don't speak to the right counselors, we get up and then because somebody is a pastor, we carry our marital issues to the person. We usually don't get the right solutions that we should get because it's a trained area, and you get people who are what do you call it? Who have been equipped and have the right tools to enable you deal with some of these problems, rather than just the talking and counseling, which may not work. It will work to a certain point, but so my recommendation to this person is that try and get some therapy for the person.
I mean, before we move on, do you handle counseling?
Yes, I do.
Okay. I mean, yesterday we've got tons of issues on our heads. I'm hoping I can do some recommendation for some people to talk to somebody.
Yes.
So maybe
yes, I do.
when we're done, we'll look at that. But sometimes the problem isn't just the other person.
Yes.
You know, I'm thinking, how can individuals work on themselves to become trustworthy partners? Like just this lady's issue. I mean, he has got a problem. He's carried into the marriage. He needs to work on himself. Is that something the lady can solve? She is out in a baby. And will be whatever has happened and you're in.
Yes.
How can people work on themselves?
You see, it starts from you being aware that you have an issue. So if you are not aware, that's when your partner comes in drawing your attention and supporting you to go through the process where you can receive, I use this word very advisedly, healing. Yes. So that's the role of your partner. But for anyone who is listening to me and you want to develop trust, there are basic things. Number one, be open and accountable. Openness is one of the basic principles of trust. You cannot decide that, and sometimes they're very little things. You've closed work. We know that you usually close work at 6. You've decided to go to church before coming home. The day that you are going to, is not your usual routine. A phone call to say, I'm going to church. I will come home at 8 p.m. Or I finished, I've closed church. I'm staying for a meeting. Or I'm passing by a friend's house. Or see, we misinterpret openness to mean control. So why should I tell you everywhere I'm going? Why do you need to know everywhere? But you are creating a foundation where all it requires is for somebody to throw in some little doubt. And then all of a sudden, dots that shouldn't be connected are being connected.
Yeah. And these are common mistakes we
yes,
do.
These are basic errors that we do. So, I mean, be open. Speak to, offer information before you are asked. If you want to build trust, offer the information. Don't wait till at the time I'm asking you. I may have formed opinions. Not that many people keep an open mind, but the time they are coming to question you or seek clarification, they may have formed their opinions already.
I not to cut you, but I hope somebody can write this down. Offer information before you're asked. If you really want to, at least appear trustworthy.
Appear trustworthy. I mean, that's very, 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 very important. Number 2 is that learn to share. Learn to share. So you are married. You see, when you enter into the marriage covenant, what you have done is that you said that I'm ready to share myself and everything that I have. There is the marriage institution according to God, not 2 individuals. You may start off as 2 individuals coming together, but the Bible says the 2 will become one. It's a process. You learn to share. Eventually, people will see you as one. Everybody will recognize you as one entity, because the 2 of you, when I speak to Kojo and Amma are married. Kojo and Amma would not have different opinions. Even if they had different opinions, they would have discussed that and agreed on the way forward. So they speak to each other. They don't belittle. The challenge was sometimes sharing your thoughts and ideas and your values and your visions, that one party, usually the dominant one, will belittle the other. So all of a sudden, I'm afraid to become vulnerable to you. I'm afraid to share the things that I am afraid to share, my deep thoughts and my deep fears and all of those things. And then we start drifting apart because we have a need to be relational beings. So if I'm not sharing with you, I'm sharing with somebody else.
Yeah.
And if I'm not sharing with anybody else, then I'm heading for trouble.
You're right.
That's why
Absolutely.
sometimes you realize somebody seems fine, and then all of a sudden the person is depressed because they have not found any form of outlet where they can manage these emotions, where they can do that. And all of this is because trust is broken on that level in their home.
Learn to share.
Yes.
Offer information before you're asked. I mean, I think a lot of men, I mean, I found myself in that space, especially offering information before you're asked. Because I remember I grew up in a family where, I mean, you see it as a big forest, but then people are very individual. And I saw my wife comes from a family where sharing is big. I mean, they talk, they have a family page, they chat on it, mom and dad, everybody on it. So when we got married, I found that very... I couldn't understand that we spoke about something and somebody else knows, but that's their family. They talk, they share, they discuss everything.
Yeah.
And so I think understanding your spouse and what trust means to them,
Absolutely.
it's very, very important. Please, you may want to keep this, bigly on your list.
And let me just add to what you just said. You made a very good point that because of the way different families we come from, we behave differently. It may not necessarily be wrong. It's just that I'm used to a family where my business is my business. And then you are coming from a family where your business is the family's business.
Yeah.
So when you understand these differences, then you can now start working towards a place where both parties will be comfortable and you can become one. You see, I had a similar experience with my wife. What you are sharing, I want to share everything. When I step out of here, I will call her. When I sit in the car, I will call her. Every little, but she was not like that, and she felt like you're disturbing me. I'm working.
Yeah.
I'm working, and you keep sending messages, and when you send message, you expect that I'll respond. But I'm busy.
This will be tough at the beginning.
Oh yes, it was. I mean, the first 5 years of my marriage was tough because it was where I had to learn we're completely from different. Seemingly, when we were going to marry, we thought that our families were similar, or our thoughts or our thinking were the same, but we found out that we're different. So we had to learn to live with each other and become one. And that process can be very, 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 very tough.
In 5 minutes, we will be wrapping up this conversation. We have a lot more conversations coming up within this month of March. And so one issue may get into the other. Let's take a quick breather and return to wrap up.
That's been one of the wonderful experiences I've ever had.
The discussions went really, really well, and I believe that's really going to impact on our marriages going forward.
It was a good one. I really enjoyed myself. This is the second time we are coming, and we've resolved to come again.
This is our first time coming to such an event, spending time away from the kids, focusing on us. My wife and I have really enjoyed it.
I'm happy we came, and this is going to be a tradition.
More happy about what Sunny FM is doing for couples, and I believe that it should continue.
Sunny FM is excited to announce its Couples Retreat 2025.
Like a dream come true.
The Couples Retreat train is heading to the beautiful city of Takoradi this year. Prepare for a refreshing and unforgettable weekend getaway at the Western Serene Atlantic Hotel, crowned with a special daycation at the Groove, a Sipon Beach Resort. Date 29th to the 31st of August 2025. Lock down the date and get ready to experience a weekend filled with warm fellowship, interactive and impactful retreat sessions, and intentional couple bonding activities that will leave lasting memories. Our time at the Groove, a Sipon Beach Resort, promises pure pure delight, horse riding, kayaking on calm waters, to relaxing couple walks, couple games, and beautiful moments under the sunset. It's a perfect setting to unwind and reconnect in the most memorable way. The weekend will cost 7,888 Ghana cedis per couple, inclusive of transportation. Registration deadline is the 25th of August 2025. To register, call or WhatsApp 0545 223324 0545 223324. Don't miss this special opportunity to refresh your love, strengthen your bond in a faith-filled and uplifting atmosphere. Let's make this a weekend to remember together.
Right here, Sunny 88.7 FM. We are on day 3 of our Marriage Unscripted series right here on the radio. And we've been talking to Kobina Jackson this morning. He's the founder of Doubles Marriage Ministry. And this morning we've been talking about building trust in marriages. And I think it's taking us to places where we're talking about very important things right here. Kobina, let me bring you in on a few questions and then we can wrap up. This says, can overprotection or protectiveness affect trust negatively in relationship? I think you pretty much was on that course. Yeah. And then there's a second question here. It says, good morning, my husband would not share, he would not open up, and when you even bring your worries through text, he ignores. He doesn't have the time for you to talk to him personally. What should I do? We are widely apart.
Okay, so let's deal with the overprotective.
Yes.
I think that could also be, it may be a form of, or as a result of some form of mistrust. Mm-hmm. So we may have to look into that and find out what it is that makes you want to be overprotective of me. What actions or inactions from me that makes you think that I need that level of protection, or what experiences have you had that makes you think that you have to behave this way to ensure that nothing negative happens. More often than not, it is actually from a good place. The intent, and again, that's why I say the intent is good, but the impact may be negative. So the person having experiences or having seen certain things happen to other people may want to ensure that it doesn't happen in their life. But they need to, someone will need to explain to them that there's a certain level of overprotectiveness that now moves into control. So you want to show love, but you don't want to control the other party. We are not created, or we don't enter into marriages to be dominated by another spouse. So all of these things, again, I will say therapy. And I am on a campaign for dealing with qualified therapists and qualified counselors, because a lot of us are speaking to people that we should not be speaking to. And that is causing more problems in the marriage. What was the second question again?
Second question, I mean, it has to do, he said he will not share. He will not open up. And when you bring your worries as well, maybe he will not listen. And so she would do it through text, and he would ignore. And he's saying that he doesn't even have time personally for them to talk. And so what should she do? Instead, we're widely apart.
One of the things that I've realized is that every human being is rational in their thinking, the way they do things. Whether we agree with it or not is another matter. But they have gone through a certain thought process in their mind and have chosen a certain way or a certain kind of behavior that seems to work for them, or is the best for them in terms of. So again, I say when you do a root cause analysis, some of these things is the surface issue, but if you dive deep, you find out why the man has chosen that course of action, and then you can seem to give some remedy for that situation. But on radio, it may be difficult to really
look at both sides.
We have to dive deep into it and know what are why he's chosen that. Sometimes you say, oh, men are like that, but I dare say that those generalizations, they work only up to a certain point. Beyond that, there are actions or inactions that have caused people to toe a certain line and behave in a certain way.
It's
So this person needs a lot more. Again, not just talking to a counselor. I can't overemphasize that. Don't just speak to this person is a counselor. Make sure that person is a qualified person to equip you with the tools to be able to prayer is good, faith is good, all of that, but there are also tools that when you combine with the prayer and the faith, you would be able to overcome some of these challenges.
Mr. Jackson, before you go, how important is retreats like what we're about to do? I mean, especially for couples who need that time. Your husband is not listening and all of that. What's your recommendation for spouses stepping out of their own environment once in a while, like what we're doing?
Last year, we the whole of last year, actually, we did family finances at the Doubles workshop. And one of the things that was key in our budgeting was that set money aside for what I call it your high life, where you and your family can actually take time off every other thing. If possible, no phones. The phones are with you, but you don't pay attention to them. It is very important. Every relationship requires a time where you have retreated from everybody else, and it's just about the two of you to go through some kind of healing process or a refresh. So, and that really helps you to move, because marriage is a lot of work.
It's one woman said it's work that we have all not been trained in. No, it has just met us, so we need a lot of on the go.
Yes,
support.
Yes, so it's important that couples. I want to encourage every couple listening in here that join the retreat.
Join the retreat.
The effect of that 2 or 3 days out of your usual environment, it will give you a peace of mind. It will give you a refresh. Your relationships would move to a higher pedestal, because you have taken time to heal yourselves, or to grow yourselves, or to improve yourself.
Well, it's for us. It's happening in August.
Yes.
Last weekend in August, 29th is a Friday, all the way to the 31st. We're lodging at Western Serene Atlantic Hotel in Takoradi. We'll take a day off on a retreat to be at the Groove at a Sipong Beach Resort, where it's just me time for couples. No sessions, horse riding, kayaking on calm water, swimming if you just want to swim. They've got a beautiful, animal area along the hills. You can hike and go through it. And so this is meant to strengthen your bond. And on Sunday every year we renew our vows as well at the couples retreat. So I mean, whatever you're going through at this point, okay, talk to Jennifer this morning and book a spot on the couples retreat. 0545 22 3324. That is 0545 22 3324. But just before we go, I mean, I as a counselor, what's usually the process for people to touch base with you, to reach out to you? What's usually the process?
Okay. I'm laughing because this is something I usually don't like doing, but I'll give a number that I can be reached on. So 054 0126 355.
Okay.
054 0126 355.
Alrighty.
And yes, so you call and then we can schedule some time. And then we can talk.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, sir.
Alrighty.
It's been a pleasure.
Right here, Sunny 88.7. Cradle to Crayon is coming on at 9:30. We have 11 minutes to wrap up on the IM Drive. I mean, there are a few questions coming in, but then we'll deal with it. We'll refer you if possible. 0540130684. You can keep them coming. We'll refer you if possible. 0540130684. Right here on the IM Drive.
Sunny FM is excited to announce its Couples Retreat 2025.
like a dream come true.
The couples retreat train is heading to the beautiful city of Takoradi this year. Prepare for a refreshing and unforgettable weekend getaway at the Western Serene Atlantic Hotel,